Now say you have a deed that reads from a point of beginning, proceed 610 feet at a specified azimuth. You begin at a point of beginning marked by an iron pin in the ground. We've used a survey grade GPS to locate that point. Let's say we want to sketch in the property bounds. This is a procedure that requires some preparation. If you are using a UTM coordinate system, the distances will be measured in meters. If you are using a state plane coordinate system, the distances will be measured in feet. Most deeds in the United States are measured in feet or some unit that relates to feet, like chains or rods or something silly like that. But let's assume we're in feet. So we have to go from our UTM coordinate system to our state plane coordinate system. Right-click on Layers, Data Frame Properties, and I have our local state plane, Maine East, loaded in. But we can go into Projected Coordinate Systems, State Plane, NAD 1983 US feet. We have all these different options if our deed is in something different. So we can select Maine East US feet. So we've already got that loaded into our favorites. So we can just hit OK and watch how this map moves just a little bit. And that's the difference in how it's projecting. Just a little shift in angle. Everything stayed proportionally the same, more or less, but it shifted a little bit. Now, we have to do one more step because we created this in UTM 19 North. We now have to export this into state plane to be totally up and up. So, right-click, Data, Export Data. We want to use the same coordinate system as the data frame, which is now in state plane. So we don't want that. We want to send that into my discard junk. And this is Farmers Fields State Plane. Okay. Yes, we do. So now we have in the state plane coordinate system, we'll make the outline now red. So now we are beginning our preparation here. We can turn this layer on, turn the old one off, and right-click, Edit Features, Start Editing. And our old farmers fields and our point of beginning, those don't match our reference frame. That's okay for now. Our point of beginning is being projected on the fly, and we're not editing it right now, so we're going to continue. Now, under Editor, there's two things that we have to change, or one thing at this point. So we use the Editor drop-down options. We have to go to Units, and the direction type by default is polar. And we want to change that to north azimuth. And we could also use quadrant bearing. We don't want to right now, but we'll use north azimuth. And that means that north is going to be 0 and is going to count around 360 degrees. If we have polar, for whatever reason, north is 90 degrees, east is 180, south is 270, and then we're at 360 when we're going west. So that's not going to work for our deed. We have several options for the direction units, and we can either have decimal degrees or degrees, minutes, and seconds. These are the ones we're most likely to work with. Gradients and gons, we don't even need to talk about that. It'll just hurt your brain. Hurt my brain too. So we also don't want to do radians. So we're going to work with degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay. So after all that's said and done, we can click on Farmers Field State Plane. We're going to do a polygon. And we have snapping turned on, so it's beginning our feature right at that point of beginning, which is our iron pin on the ground that is precisely located. Single click to begin the feature. And you can sort of point it in the direction you know you want to go. This is the outline of our field. We know it's 610 feet, and the angle is also specified. So right click and say direction length. And now our deed we're reading is 164 degrees, 40 minutes, and 52 2 seconds. And we know that it's precisely 610.000 feet. Hit enter, and that has created a new vertex at precisely that location. We can go to our next one. Again, right click, direction and length. And we're reading our deed that we are now proceeding at 261 degrees 00 minutes and 12 seconds. And we are going to proceed. The deed is reading 397.2. Enter. There is our new point. Finally, right click, direction length. And this one, we're reading off our deed. We are proceeding from this point to this one at an angle of 346.32 and 11 seconds and a distance of 765.387. Enter. There's our last point, and we can right click, finish sketch. And that takes our last point, and that gives us a feature that is precisely aligned with our deed, which we would then hire a licensed surveyor to go confirm. But that is how we can get the deed's language onto the map. This is not a legal surveyor. We are not surveyors. We are not licensed in that way. But we can interpret a deed and lay it out and use that as a beginning reference. As foresters, we will often use this kind of thing as a first piece of information when we go out and then we walk and we look for boundary evidence. That could be an old rock wall, an old chain link fence, some evidence of where the boundary has been respected in the past. So from deed to feature.